So you want to ride motorcycles, but you're finding all of this jargon a little crazy when it comes to this lifestyle, hobby, money pit, life-destroying activity, huh? Fear not, my sweet baby yams, I have you covered because today we're going to be dissecting some of the most common motorcycle terms you might hear in real life, or let's be honest, on the internet comment sections. If you've been a long time watcher of the channel, you know we love to drop some funny terms on here. We've got the Yammie standbys like Gooch Juice, Turbo Busa, and Mega Dank Nooners, but you also have industry standards such as squids, low sides, and chicken strips. Today we're going to cover as many as I could think of before my brain started to melt. I wanted to mention that our giveaway KTM RC390 will be shipped off soon, but we will have a Yamaha R3 and a Suzuki SV650 to give away to 2 different winners starting July 4th. If you want the best chance to win those bikes, hit up our Patreon, sign up, and get started by clicking the link down below. Before we begin though, do me a solid, smash that subscribe button so I can grow to 1 million subscribers and get a Turbo Busa simply for the memes. Seriously, if I reach 1 million subs, I will buy a Turbo Busa literally just for shits and giggles. That's a promise, my sweet squidlets. Papa needs a Turbo Busa, so let's make it happen. I'm already a living meme for a variety of reasons, but this needs to be my crowning achievement. So sit back, grab yourself a cheeky little snack, and let's jump into this video. Our first term that needs more understanding is low sides. Low sides are pretty easy to understand. Since motorcycles are 2-wheeled vehicles, hopefully this is not news to you, they are prone to doing things a little bit differently than our 4-wheeled brethren. Sometimes when you lean it over a bit too far, the tire's traction can give up on you and it will cause the bike to slide out underneath you. Nearly every rider I've spoken to has a story about how they have low-sided a bike or at least dropped one at very slow speeds, so this one is super common. Now, a low side might also be caused by poor road conditions such as snow, dirt, gravel, or if you're really unlucky, an oil spill, which is basically death for any traction. So it's not always the rider's fault, but you'll be sure to hear at some point in your riding career that someone had to layer down, and that's almost always related to a low side. Our next term is high sides. So this is a much more rare but much more dramatic way of crashing out on your bike, but a high side is when your motorcycle starts to slip out from underneath you, but then suddenly and violently regains traction in the other direction. If you've ever seen someone look like they've been bucked off a horse while riding a motorcycle, this is likely what they suffered. High sides are not fun. I've never had one of these crashes, but I hear they are pretty violent and can cause some serious trouble. Up next is tank slapper. This one's a bit of a strange vibe to it. Tank slapper sounds vaguely sexual, a bit odd, or maybe that's a new taco creation down at Torchy's or something. However, in a motorcycle context, a tank slapper is when your bike starts to wobble out of control at speed. Now this can happen for a variety of reasons, but it's a bit like when you're hauling a trailer and you start to experience it whipping, but instead you're now on a 2-wheeled vehicle that's doing this. Now, as far as the specific physical forces that cause this, I'm not too sure, but I do know this. If you start to sense some vibration from the bars, it's best to lighten up your grip, let the bike do the work, and it'll sort itself out. Bikes have a fantastic self-correcting system baked into them because when they're in motion, they really do want to keep upright. So if you've ever seen a tank slapper video where someone got flung off, the bike all of a sudden settled and kept going straight. Weird how that works, huh? This term is super common, and that is squids. Squids are an essential part of motorcycle culture, and it's a word that I'm working to reclaim, as it historically has had a derogatory context. Boy, I'm making this sound like it's a really serious racial slur, but it's not. This is really just for fun, guys. In short, a squid is someone who rides without common sense. It's a guy wearing flip-flops, a t-shirt, no helmet, and is on a GSXR 600, usually. But it's also become a backronym of sorts. Some people swear that it's short for stupidly quick, underdressed, ignorant, and dangerous, but I've never heard that definition before. Here's my take though. I love this word. As you guys know, I love calling my audience squidlets or some variation on that because I truly believe that if you're riding a motorcycle, you're not going to be 100% safe every time. They're fun toys, guys, and if you exercise caution and restraint and do it in the right places, they can be used responsibly. Now, I'm not a safety Nazi by any means, but I do want to make sure I spread a good message in the world of riding responsibly and within your limits. But that doesn't mean we can't have fun. So now you know, you little squids. Our next term is ADV. ADV is simply a shorthand for adventure, which is a category of motorcycle riding that basically entails some light trail riding, some off-road stuff, and mostly pavement. ADV is often used to talk about guys who own Ducati Multistradas or BMW GS 1200s who ride down to Starbucks, or talk about Ewan McGregor wannabes who are going the long way around to the office. But ADV bikes are the bee's knees. Comfortable, upright, loaded, and kitted out with tons of technology. I think they're rad, but maybe that's because I'm getting older. ADV is sometimes used interchangeably with dual sport, but dual sport bikes are usually much more lightweight and easier to handle, whereas ADV bikes are usually hulking beasts of motorcycles. Now, our next two terms are funny ones, but they're ones you need to know nonetheless. The first one is a mega dank nooner. Now, obviously, you know what mega means and what dank means, generally understood to be good, but nooner refers to a wheelie that is so good it points to the sky. It's a 12 o'clock wheelie, so that noon is related to that 12 o'clock. I think nooner is one of the funniest ways to describe a wheelie, and adding mega dank in front of it makes it even better. So go out there and crack yourself some mega dank nooners. The other funny term is gooch juice. This one might be a bit unscrupulous, so if you're watching this with little ones, you might want to skip this part, but gooch refers to the portion of your body between your unmentionables and your bum, and the juice portion of it refers to the sweat that accumulates there. I popularized this term in my It Came From Craigslist videos, where we would look at some absolutely wretched bikes that had saddles that were crusty and old, and I said they were weathered and worn by time from this magical gooch juice. Now you know. Getting back to wheelies, some terms you need to know about these are clutch ups and power wheelies. When someone says something about clutching it up, they're referring to a technique of pulling in the clutch and revving up the engine in order to cause power to suddenly go to the back wheel and lift the front one, causing a wheelie, or as we in the biz say, a mega dank nooner. This is the preferred method of doing wheelies since it's more controllable, but if you have a very powerful motorcycle, you can do what's known as a power wheelie, where you let off the gas and then romp on the throttle aggressively to cause the front wheel to lift. Now you know. This one causes some confusion, but it's pretty simple, and that is naked motorcycles. No, we're not talking about riding while nude, which quite a few folks do, chief among them are those supermoto boys. No, naked motorcycles simply refer to how they don't have fairings or plastic bodywork around them. Besides aesthetics and ease of maintenance and a hatred for your own chest when it comes to riding at speed, naked bikes don't have any inherent advantages over faired motorcycles. However, they are usually more upright and torquey than proper sport bikes, which makes them an absolute blast to enjoy and ride on the street. Our next term is slip-on. Although it might also sound like something of a sexual or seedy nature, a slip-on is actually quite intuitive to understand. On a motorcycle's exhaust system, you have your header pipe, which is found at the exhaust port of the engine, that leads into the catalytic converter system for emission regulations, and then you have another set of piping called a muffler that dampens the sound. A slip-on, as the name implies, slips onto the catalytic converter side of the piping and replaces the muffler by slipping on. It's a super easy mod that gives your bike a little more pop and crackle. Now, slip-ons are not meant to be confused with clip-ons. Clip-ons are the bars you will most likely see on sport bikes. If you've ever seen a Cruiser, you'll notice that they have handlebars that look more like a bicycle and that they are one big piece of formed metal that allows you to maneuver the bike. Dirt bikes have this too. Sport bikes have a different setup in that the handlebars are actually two stubby little pieces of metal that attach directly to the forks towards the triple clamp. Now you know. This next term is most commonly found on forums, and that is ATGATT. ATGATT. The term du jour of high-vis uncles on our motorcycles and the comment sections on YouTube videos. ATGATT is simply a shorthand for all the gear, all the time. It's meant to encourage young and newer riders to always wear all of their gear when they go out on a ride. Now, I'm a pretty big advocate for this, but I'd say I'm closer to 90% ATGATT. Sometimes, if it's crazy hot, I might just wear a t-shirt to go down the street, but I'll say this, my squidlets, I am 100% on my helmet. You will never catch me on a bike without a helmet. This last one might make you hungry, and that is chicken strips. The lovely chicken strips, an easy to understand concept as well. The chicken strip is merely the portion of your tire that remains unused because you're too chicken, supposedly, to lean it over all the way. Now, I did a whole video about why the concept of chicken strips is silly, but in short, they're just not a good measure of rider skill since you can simply lean the bike over way too far with bad body position instead of picking the bike up while you ride. Chicken strips, good for eating, bad for judging fellow riders. Alright guys, that's gonna do it for today. What do you think? Did you learn a few new terms today? I know I definitely missed some, so please leave a comment below and I'll make a part 2 if there's even more terms to put down. And you guys already know this video wouldn't be complete without me mentioning our Patreon. It started out as our beginner bike giveaway and we've still got that going on. We've got 2 brand new motorcycles up for grabs to 2 different winners this time around. But it's really grown into the best community for motorcyclists on the internet. Imagine a safe place where you can come learn about bikes, ask questions, see exclusive content, and hang out with me. That's what our Discord server is. It's a chat room you can access on desktop or mobile, and it works like Slack or TeamSpeak. Join over 683 people who have signed up. We've got channels specifically for new riders, bike purchases, memes, and more. Oh yeah, you get additional chances to win the bike and you're automatically entered for free. You'll get access to live streams, polls to help us decide what to do with the bikes, and more. We also do a weekly $100 Revzilla gift card drawing for our members. Watch our weekly It Came From Craigslist videos to see how that works. So join us in creating the best exclusive motorcycle community on the internet. Hit the link below or go to patreon.com/YammieNoob to get started. Thanks again for watching. I'll catch you guys next time. See you later.